Good times.
Oh, yeah. So, no Finn Balor, no Killer Kross, no Scarlett Bordeaux. I'm fucking pissed. Whatever. This is NXT. Everybody to What's NXT for April 22nd, 2020. I'm your host, the Rated R Reviewer, joined tonight by the Cleaver, Colin Andrew.
What's happening?
I'm glad
to be here.
I'm glad I have a co-host tonight. Jerry is incapacitated this week. What can I say? No Jerry. But got this shit rolling so that we can do the live with the green screen and the Skype and everything else. Got the computer flowing. So we get to do this. This is awesome. I don't have to do this by myself. Dude, you have no idea how much I was dreading trying to do this show by myself. Me talking to me would have been just great. Meanwhile, we start the show, as I alluded to earlier, no Finn Balor. They show the locker room, presumably his locker room, because otherwise how would they know that he's missing? There was a ruckus. There was a chair flipped over, and obviously something went down, and Finn Balor's missing. We don't know if he's gone. We don't know if he left. We don't know if he's injured. We don't know what happened, but he's missing. I'm tending to believe those fucking Lucha Mask guys in the van fucking rolled up, ran inside, and snatched him up. I don't know. Your thoughts?
Well, let's look at the clues here. We have a torn t-shirt on the ground. We have a chair tipped over. We have a missing Irishman. I mean, this is a plot out of any type of fucking Netflix original movie. So I don't know what's going on here, but I'm interested to see what is going on here. Maybe it was Imperium, because we've had the interactions with Walter and Finn Balor. How Walter said his regards. Then last week we had Fabian Eichner versus Finn Balor, and
Yep.
Finn Balor got the W. So this could be a retaliation from Imperium.
Well, before we move on into the show, we've got Israel Diaz in the chat room. Hello to the Superfan. How's it going?
What's up, Holiday? What's up, Jerry?
Jerry's there. Tried to make Jerry a moderator earlier. That did not work out. I guess he doesn't do a lot on YouTube. It didn't even... I typed in his name. And there's no other Jerry Slaughters out there because it would have showed me them.
I sent you the link. SMS text message style.
Yeah, that goes to my phone. I have to do the change on my laptop because you can't. I don't think I can use my phone to go in and give somebody moderator status. And so I actually typed in letter by letter, caps versus non-caps, the entire URL, and it still didn't take. So I don't know what it is, but we'll try to get that done. Sorry, Jerry, but thanks for joining us. We also have new fan Nate Spain in the chat room. He says, "What's up, guys? How's it going, Nate?" So hi to Chris, and let's see. Yeah, Chris. Chris is our moderator. Thank you for being here, sir. We have 7 in the chat room already. That's already like record-breaking numbers. Meanwhile, let's get into the show. Velveteen Dream comes out, and he is disappointed. He got stood up by Finn Balor. He says, "New levels, new devils," like 3 times, and he doesn't say much. Adam Cole comes out, interrupts him, and this is nice because I don't know what happened with Finn Balor or why, but it's nice to finally see Adam Cole in person. He says that Dream is trying to weasel his way into a championship match. He thinks that he took out Finn Balor, and he's just going to skip over the match that everybody is assuming is going to be a number one contendership match. And Cole says he has nothing to do with whatever happened to Finn Balor, and he doesn't know what happened to him, but he knows what's going to happen to Dream. And that's when Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong attack Dream from behind. They get a 3-on-1 beatdown for a minute, and then Keith Lee comes out. Clears the ring, pounces Cole, and I think Bobby Fish, might have been Roderick Strong, doesn't matter. Thank God he was there to catch him. And this is going to set up a tag team match later. Meanwhile, what do you think about this in-ring promo sort of fallout here?
Well, I loved how it started off with Velveteen Dream up, perched on the top rope, doing the hand gestures like Finn Balor. You know, I really thought that was cool. But I really think the only reason Finn Balor's even in this program with Velveteen Dream right now is because of the coronavirus and everything, because he should be slated with that program with Walter, because in 4 days, technically, NXT TakeOver UK Dublin should be happening, or should have been happening.
Should have been.
So, you know, should have, would have, could have. But we get that in October, I guess. But, no, I really liked it. Keith Lee coming out and just straight pouncing ass everywhere, which he's just such a large man. Like, I've seen him in person. Like, I have fist bumped the dude. He is such a large man, and to see him throw around dudes like Roddy Strong, like it's nothing. You know, I'm 6'3", 230 pounds, and I know I'm a pretty large mass man, but good Lord, he throws them around like pink, goodbye. And I thought it was a good opener. We have some unclosed, unfinished business with Velveteen and Adam Cole, so it's cool to see him in person instead of just him sitting by his pool like, hey, baby.
Well, I'm with you. I for the life of me, I don't know why they're inserting Finn Balor into this feud when he's got this thing going on with Walter. Maybe it's because that has ceased to be able to move forward, and they're trying to do something with him in the meantime, waiting. I think Captain Hindsight, in hindsight, they should have had Finn Balor win the 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal over in NXT UK to get the number one contendership. That way, that whole thing would be settled to a point where you can put it on pause and not even have to worry about it. You know that Finn Balor is the next one that's going to get a shot at Walter and his title. Don't have to mention it. We can just wait. Meanwhile, this would have felt, I don't know about fine. I always have these reservations when you stick a third person into a one-on-one feud midway through and try and pull off a triple threat with it. But when it's Finn Balor, I'm kind of okay with it. It's just, like, he's got a lot going on right now. Like, I guess that's good, maybe. We don't know who took him out, but eventually we're going to find out. You're probably right. It was probably Imperium.
Yeah, like, I really do think it was Imperium. But in due time, my friend, in due time.
That would make sense. Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Knox versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. So we're not going to get the match that we thought we were going to get in Finn Balor and Velveteen Dream, but we are going to get this tag team match, which was all right. It was all right. I kind of enjoyed it. What do you think?
First of all, Gonzalez is big as fuck. She is 6 foot tall. Like, I'm looking at her just tower over Tegan Knox because, you know, Tegan Knox is probably like, what, 5'6", roughly 5'5", but still, like, she's just throwing these little girls around. I thought it was a good match. I really did. I really thought that both teams worked very well together. I wouldn't mind seeing Shotzi and Tegan team up again in the near future, because obviously we're going to see Raquel and Dakota team up again. Impressive powerbomb at the end for Raquel to get the 1-2-3. I was surprised that they gave her the pinfall. I'm surprised Dakota didn't take it, in my opinion. But I thought it was a really good match. I don't know. I mean, there wasn't anything super, super special about it.
Yeah, I've got a few notes. I did like Shotzi Blackheart's version of a Sling Blade Bulldog. She hits it like Chris Jericho does, where he just grabs the back of the head. And she follows that with an inverted senton that she does where the person's like laying over the middle of the ropes. So that was pretty cool. She comes off the top rope onto both chicks outside, and then we go to commercial. Come back, and the end of the match comes when Nox throws Kai out of the ring, but then Kai grabs her feet and pulls her out, spins her around, and kicks her in the head. That move that she does that Jerry loves so much. And Gonzalez ends up catching Shotzi, who's going for a some sort of wheelbarrow, maybe a roll up, or maybe the spring back up where they grab the head and do the bulldog. Either way, she snatches her up, spins her around halfway, and then with one arm picks her up and single arm power bombs her, and 1, 2, 3. Yeah, she gets the pinfall. I like this because Dakota Kai really didn't need the pinfall. I mean, to get the win is nice, but Raquel Gonzalez needs, you know, a little bit of momentum behind her. Like, she really hasn't gotten much. This is a substantial win, I would say. Anyway, yeah, Dakota Kai and Raquel, whatever, Gonzalez win. Let's see, we move on. This is where we get the announcement that Velveteen Dream and Keith Lee are going to be facing Adam Cole and Roderick Strong tonight. Probably going to be the main event. Spoiler alert, that is the main event. Good main event. I enjoyed it. But in the meantime, here's something that they did that I would have never thought was coming our way. So they show Drake Maverick, who is a competitor in this round-robin tournament for the Cruiserweight Championship, but they show his Twitter video where he's crying about losing his job. And then they have this whole promo that they did afterwards, a super sad promo where he's talking about he's fighting for his life kind of thing. Like, I don't, what'd you think about this right here?
So, obviously, I don't know what's going on here. I really don't, because we thought these matches had been taped beforehand, and before, you know, everyone's releases were announced and stuff, and apparently that's not the case because we get this awesome vignette from Drake Maverick, and I've always been a Maverick fan, Rockstar Spud. Like, I liked him in TNA, Impact, whatever you want to call it. Like, I enjoyed his work there. He's a hell of a performer. I'm rooting for him in this tournament, but I really liked it. It was well put together. But yeah, it was basically like I'm fighting for my fucking life in here moment.
Right.
So
next match, he fights for his life against Jake Atlas, who we have never seen before, and
nope.
he comes.
Not never.
He gets his own video promo, but after he comes out, and then he was okay. He was about average in the ring. There were a few of his moves that I liked, especially that finishing move that he's got was super cool. Super cool. But before I break down a few of the moves, what did you think about the match?
I enjoyed it. It's like, how often do we really get to see Drake Maverick wrestle in WWE? You know, when he came in, he was the general manager of 205 Live, and then he's done a few off things with the 24/7 Championship, but like actual matches, not too many. So it was an awesome treat to see that. And then yes, Jake Atlas, who the fuck are you? New kid on the block, raise your hand, introduce yourself. You know, I enjoyed the match though because of the back and forth between Drake and Jake. Yeah, say that back and forth. But with the context of Drake saying, "I need this," and then he's like, "Yeah, I need this too," and then just back and forth. I thought it was a really well put together match. It was a little bit slow for me in the beginning, but it definitely came through at the end. And honestly, I was really, really expecting Maverick to pick up the win because of that promo package. Like, his promo package was a little different than anybody else's we saw throughout the night. His was a little more personal. His was a little more, you know, seasoned, a little more essence. Like, it was just a little, I don't know, I just felt like there was more to it than just a vignette for a tournament.
Yeah, this match was slow, like you said, for most of it. There was a spot where Drake hits a tope suicida and then throws Atlas back in the ring and hits a really wicked diving elbow, but doesn't get a pinfall off of it. Uh, but then it just goes on for a while, and it's just so obvious how small Drake Maverick is because if Jake Atlas is still under 205 pounds, man, Drake Maverick is small because Atlas is
Right?
huge compared to him, and it's rookie versus seasoned guy for most of the match. Then we get up to the end, and Atlas goes up top, and Maverick meets him up there and catches him and tries to go for a Frankensteiner, but Atlas just shrugs him off, knocks him down, and then does a cartwheel off the top rope. A cartwheel where his hands cartwheel onto the top rope next to him, and then he comes down with a DDT, sort of like a slingshot DDT would look. 1, 2, 3. He gets the victory. And yeah, I did not expect Drake Maverick to lose here, but I mean, why not? Here, tell the ultimate underdog story. Maybe he wins every match from this point on, and somehow pulls out the victory and forces them to keep him or rehire him because now he's the champ.
That, or he, like, you know how we have the round robin, and if we get down to it, there'll be a triple threat. Maybe somehow he wins that triple threat. It comes down to that. But Jerry in the chat room says we've seen Jake twice. I don't know when, but he says we have.
I'm sure he remembers.
I will trust the general.
Yeah, his memory is much better than mine, but I don't remember him. Anyway, let's move on. We get a video promo here for Damian Priest, who wants a shot at the NXT North American Championship, and spoiler alert, he's going to get one. He says that Keith Lee has been handpicking all of his opponents because he knows he can beat them, but he has never beat Damian Priest. In fact, Damian Priest's first main event match was against Keith Lee, and he won. So, next week we are going to get this match for the North American Championship. And I'm looking forward to it. I hope Keith Lee wins just because I don't see this being a proper point to change the title. But then again, maybe that's what they're going to do. What do you think? Who wins next week?
I'm saying Keith Lee retains by DQ after what we saw. Well,
later.
Yeah.
Possibly. We get a video package promo for Kushida, which they had subtitles. I didn't bother reading them. It's a promo, man. Did you bother reading them?
No. I saw something about she's wanted to face Charlotte Flair for a long time, and Charlotte's one of the best. And
oh no, this was Kushida.
She's the best or something.
This was Kushida, not Io.
Oh, sorry, my bad, dude. My bad. Wrong
it's okay.
Chinese. Wrong Asian one. There's a lot of subtitles tonight, folks. No, I didn't pay attention to that one at all. No.
Okay, so let's just move on to his match. He is a favorite in this tournament, and this next match shows why. Because he beats Tony Nese pretty easily, I would say. The last times I've seen Tony Nese, he was pretty dominant in the ring. Not so much this time. But still, somehow, Kushida doesn't look all that great. He just looks all right. What did you think?
So I have no idea how to pronounce the finishing move that Kushida has, that arm lock. He said it like 10 times, and I tried to remember what it was, but it's completely gone by this point because we got a lot happen between now and then. But I thought this match was actually really good. I liked the fact in the beginning. I really enjoyed when Kushida went up to Tony Nese's face and was just like, yeah, check out my muscles. Yeah. Look, I can do that too. Obviously, Kushida has been a primary number 1 or number 2 slot pick for this tournament. I knew going into this match that Tony Nese really had no chance in hell. I know, obviously, he has been Cruiserweight champion before, but I just don't, for some reason, see him be again. He hasn't really
not
done
on
much
NXT.
lately.
Kushida has got way too much clout on NXT. Like, he's got way too many wins. Like, NXT's his spot. If they were doing this on 205 Live, I don't even know if that exists anymore. But if they were doing this on 205 Live, I'd give Tony Nese the
upper hand.
Yeah, but not here, not on NXT. Definitely Kushida,
Yeah.
and that's what we saw. I do have several moves here. For the most part, I was setting up the TV at this point, but still, see, Nese throws Kushida through the barricade after getting him outside. Like he does this neck hang up over the top rope, but he runs from the ring to the outside, jumping over the top rope to do it, which was pretty cool. And then ends up hanging him over the top rope again a few minutes later over on the other side, and then jumps from the apron into a springboard moonsault, but doesn't hit it. Misses it, or I think he misses it. Yeah. Kushida gets a little bit of offense, gets that super punch he throws or whatever, and then
punch.
does that penalty kick to Nese's arm, and he does a reverse pump handle slam into a Sakaruba lock. So Nese tries to do the pump handle something, and Kushida reverses it mid move into a standing Sakaruba. I think that's what it is. Sakuraba. I apologize, Sakuraba. But then Nese counters that into a Northern Light suplex. I think he gets a near fall off of that. Let's see. Tony Nese goes up top, and Kushida catches him by doing that handspring double heel kick to the face, and then gets pushed off the top. And Nese actually hits a 450 splash, but only gets a near fall. Kushida kicks out, and then Kushida reverses a fire. Like Tony Nese goes up top, or Kushida goes up top. Tony Nese follows him up there, hits him, tries to put him in a fireman's carry, and I don't know what he was going to do. Maybe a rolling senton, but Kushida counters it, and you could see it all coming. They were doing so gingerly up on the top rope. It took a minute, but eventually he flips him off the top rope into that Sakuraba lock, and Tony Nese taps out fairly quickly. So this is what that is. Any last thoughts about this match?
Well, I mean, he tapped out kind of quickly, but you got to think, man, he just got flipped up onto his shit. Like that impact was kind of brutal, in my opinion.
To be fair, if you put that move on for real, like I'd tap out really quickly. Like
yeah, exactly.
Don't break my arm.
Yeah, good match though.
So we get an interview with Matt Riddle backstage with Timothy Thatcher, and Matt says that he misses Stallion Pete, and every time he looks into those baby blues of Thatcher's eyes, those beautiful eyes, he says he thinks about Pete Dunne. And then Thatcher says, my eyes aren't blue, they're brown. He's like, and Matt says, next week we're going to show the world how beautiful Timothy Thatcher really is. And Thatcher's like, I don't know what that means, but okay. This was different. Thoughts?
Extremely different. I mean, like, Timothy Thatcher, I don't like the fact that he is doing this little comedy gimmick with Matt Riddle right now. Like, it's not like a comedy gimmick, but it is at the same time. You know what I mean? I like the fact that he's with Riddle, but it just doesn't seem like his character whatsoever, that from what I remember of Thatcher. But I'm interested to see where it goes, because what's going to happen when Pete Dunne goes back? You know what I mean? Where are we going to put Thatcher?
Well, this is your traditional odd couple.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay as long as it doesn't go too far. So far they've done a pretty good balance with Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle. You know, Pete Dunne remains the serious one, but you can tell, you know, he more or less just doesn't give a fuck when it comes to a few of the references that Matt Riddle uses. Like, he understands that they're partners and they're champs and they're sort of friends, but he still doesn't break his serious demeanor. I think they can do the same with Thatcher. It's all a matter of how you script it. But so far, it doesn't seem like they've really broken any serious mold that they've had. So, yeah. All right. So we get a video promo for Killer Kross. What I like about this is Scarlett Bordeaux is voiceovering whatever she's saying. I wasn't paying all that much attention, honestly, to what she was saying. I was looking at the video. This is an expansion of the ones that we've seen so far. Man, it's so cool looking. It's just so cool looking. Like, it reminds me of, like, The Crow, only with, you know, better detail. Uh, we still don't get Killer Kross, though. Or, I'm sorry, Karrion Kross, and she's just Scarlet. We get that from one of the announcers. No Kross either, man. What the fuck?
I don't know, man. I'm just excited to see it. The build's been going for a while. Last week we saw Tommaso Ciampa get snatched the fuck up and TikTok. So the clock's running. So let's hurry up and get here.
So Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae are at home having dinner for two and talking about essentially their heel turn. Basically, they're explaining why, and Johnny Gargano gets into all of this about pleasing the fans, doing this for them and that for them. No, thank you. Just, you know, he talks about, oh, it's my kid's birthday. Wish him happy birthday on Twitter. Or, hey, it's Johnny Gargano. Can I have your autograph? And Candice LeRae is talking about, you know, all the times in the women's division that she sat back and, to quote her, eaten second. Like, she lets everybody else go first, and she takes the scraps, and no longer. Johnny Gargano tells her, it's okay, you can eat first. And so apropos, because they're eating dinner. And they said, this is not going to happen anymore. They tried to fix NXT, but now they're going to tear it down together and rebuild it their way. And they're going to be the first married couple to reign together as the NXT Women's and the NXT Champion. And they're going to get what they deserve. It's pretty much everything. It was pretty cool.
I loved it, honestly. I loved it. I loved everything from Candice because Candice has been the sweet pushover, you know, ass kicker that she is for so long, and finally she is going to hopefully get something from this because yes, we know Io Shirai is technically number one contender for Charlotte Flair, but Candice LeRae deserves it. Johnny Gargano, I don't know what we need a new NXT champion besides Adam Cole if Johnny Gargano is going to be going after it, because honestly I don't want to see Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano again. Like, how many times have we seen this already? But I love this promo. They made awesome points. It's going to be cool to see a dark side of Candice because, again, she's been that girl next door best friend for so long. So, and that food they had on the plates looked delicious.
Yeah, right?
I'm not really sure what was there. I couldn't make it out, but I saw like some salsa or something on one plate with some...
There's definitely some steamed broccoli. I think there was mashed potatoes, some grilled chicken, and it looked like Candice LeRae had like two mozzarella, like deep fried cheese sticks, whereas Johnny Gargano didn't have those because they were either cheese sticks or tiny fried chicken drumsticks, and I'm not sure.
I don't know, but it looked great.
Yeah, it looked delicious.
The only thing I did not really like, though, is, I mean, I liked it, but I didn't, was how it kept fading into the black and white and slowing down a little bit.
Well, it wasn't really slowing down. The music, the background music changed from date music to, like, cryptic music. I understand. What I liked about it was the cinematic feel. It made you, like, it helped you, like, get context as to what, you know, where they're talking in their promo, but at the same time, like Jerry said it in here in the chat, says reminds him of an old Wyatt promos. Israel Diaz says enjoyed the cup being on display during the promo. Yeah, the crotch cup that Johnny Gargano used was sitting on the table. Israel Diaz says, where does Johnny go from here? Slaughter says, I could see Logano being co-champs. What I didn't like was how forced that this made it feel. Like, using, you know, cinematic techniques shouldn't feel like you're forcing the audience to understand something as opposed to just helping them. This is forcing you to be like, okay, this is where they're talking about heel stuff versus this is where they're talking, like, baby faces. And it's give and take here. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Meanwhile, we get a video package promo for Io Shirai, who is the number one contender for Charlotte's title. And this is where you get to talk about her.
Yeah. Yeah, basically it was just a, I wanted to face Charlotte since I got here. I know she's the best, but I can prove to her that I'm the best. I'm a number one. Like, it is basically what it is. It's a little highlight package of the ladder match and a few things that Io Shirai's done over her career in NXT, and a little snapshot of Charlotte holding the belt up, basically. It was really, really about it, folks.
Well, she did say one thing in English. She said, "I bow down to no one." So there you go. Meanwhile, Drake Maverick's backstage, and here's the saddest interview you've ever seen on NXT. This Mackenzie chick is back there, and she's asking him, what happened, what's next, what's going on, how you feeling? And he says, maybe what everybody's saying about Drake Maverick is true. He said he's going out there, he's not just fighting his opponent, he's fighting himself. And I'm not positive what that means, but if it gives him a reason to cry on camera, at least it's something different. What do you think here?
I felt like I woke up at like 2:30 in the morning from having a few beverages, and Sarah McLachlan is on the TV, and there's a dog
in the arms of the angel
in a piece of shit house, just shivering. Like, that's how I felt watching this at 8:30 on a fucking Wednesday night. Like, this is where I was at in my life, especially after that sad ass video he put out last week. I feel for the man. Again, I'm a fan, so I feel for him, and they're playing this out on TV like assholes. So hopefully, something's in the works for him at least. But,
well, to be fair, this was closer to 9:15, but whatever, semantics.
Whatever. It's Wednesday night, dog. Okay, I don't need this at Wednesday nights.
All right.
Yeah, it was sad.
So they're playing up on this for what reason, I don't know. I feel like if he doesn't come out of this with his career back in WWE, then they are really assholes. They are really assholes. Mia Yim versus Jessie Kamea. And she's pretty cool looking, really tall, slender, got a good look, but kind of green. They said she was signed in 2017, so she's been in the Performance Center training for 3 years, and this is what we get out of her. I legitimately have like one note for the whole match, and that's the end of the match, because the rest of it was just boring. What do you think?
So I heard someone say that she was a volleyball player. She really didn't bring anything. I mean, if she's been with the PC or whatever since 2017, this is the first time I have ever heard of her. And I look at the active roster, pretty recent to see who's there, do some research, etc. Haven't really noticed her ever. Really don't have many notes besides the kip up pissing contest. That was really about it. We had what's the new chick's name again?
Jessie Kamea.
Yeah, Jessie. We had her do a kip up, and then just a few seconds later, boom, we had Mia Yim do it, and she's like, "Look, I can do this too," blah 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 blah. It really wasn't anything. As soon as I saw, okay, Mia Yim's in the ring, I'm like, who's she facing? It hasn't been advertised, and then boom, I see this chick that I've never seen before with a kind of generic look and a generic moveset. Obviously knew Mia Yim was going over, especially after they were talking about her and Charlotte Flair last week. So, Stefan.
Well, that leads into the aftermatch, but I do want to mention at least the ending of the match. Mia Yim hits an STO and then kind of rolls into a protect your neck, because they weren't even standing at this point, but gets the pinfall. And then Charlotte comes out and gets on a mic, offers Mia the match. Sounds really babyface like here, but I guess lands this like backhanded compliment is what they call it, where she said she wants to thank her for helping make her, giving her a hand or something like that. And so next week she's going to give her a hand too, something like that. Help her start her career, kind of thing. And this was okay. I didn't really like this as a build-up to their match, because this just seems like nothing. Honestly, it seems like every bit of what we got in promos last week that they didn't even have to do in person. But I do want to mention this Jessie Kamea. So if she's a volleyball player, I got 2 ideas. If somebody's out there watching, you can have them. These are free. Okay, so for her move set, there's easily 2 great moves that she can have, and they're both hits. One of them, yeah. So I feel like she could do kind of like Aleister Black does with his foot, only with her hand. You know, lift a girl's chin up, and then do that serve, that palm strike, bam, right? And then if somebody's like bent over, she could do that pop that they do, that double fisted pop up, like come up to the face, just boom. I'm just saying.
I like it.
I've never seen anybody do either one of those, so there you go. That's free for you guys on NXT. You're welcome, Triple H. Anyway,
it'll be like a reverse double axe handle.
We're moving on to a video promo for Jack Gallagher, and he is, I don't know if he's fully transitioned. It feels like he's still transitioning into this heel character, and he mentions this new tattoo he's got on his chest. He's like, this ink is war paint, and he's going out there to win by any means necessary. It's Jack Gallagher. What'd you think here?
It's Jack Gallagher with tattoos. I mean, like, I don't care.
Yeah, outside of the ring, he's still a gentleman, but inside of the ring, blah, 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 whatever. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see very shortly, because in between his match and this, we get one video promo, and it's Robert Stone poolside talking about Chelsea Green, and then he kind of gets done talking about her, and it pans over, and she's over on the other side of the pool having photos taken. And then we cut to inside the pool where she dives in, and you get to see all of her body in that bikini, which, thank you guys, sure. Appreciate it. She gets out and lays next to Robert Stone, and he's like, she's like the next big thing. That's literally what he says. She's not just a pretty face, she's the next big thing, and she's the total package and the next NXT champ. And she agrees. Of course she would agree. This was, at least it wasn't backstage, you know. It was a pretty day. We got to see Chelsea Green in a bikini. I'm all for it. What'd you think?
Well, he's down for a bikini shot, man. Nothing really to write home about besides the bikini, man. I mean, Robert Stone kind of reminds me of somebody off of like Beverly Hills 90210 for some reason. He just does. But I don't know what they have planned for her. If she's getting her own special vignette and all that stuff. So I don't know what's next for the Robert Stone brand. I don't know who is going to be added in. Maybe we'll get a male superstar added in. But for now, we'll see.
Well, they said that she made a statement in the women's ladder match. And I'm like, fuck no, she didn't. She got her leg taken out early and spent the rest of the match hobbling around. Needed Robert Stone to try and help her get the victory. So, Jack Gallagher versus El Hijo de Fantasma, son of Phantasma. I feel like, as I said before, it's not going to be long before he's called Phantasma Jr. or something like that. Because this is just too much. But he looked okay. He just, as cool as he is at high flying, it was all basic high flying moves. It was the stuff that you get in video games before you unlock the cool moves. Like, it was just regular lucha reg. I don't know. What'd you think?
I don't know. Fago was pretty good, or Fanta, whatever his name was. Fanta, don't you wanna? I thought it was a good debut. I really thought he was going to be a leader of some type of stable or some point, but I honestly thought the match started slow in my opinion, but it did pick up, and I had no intentions on seeing Jack Gallagher advance in this tournament, especially after the little bit of hype we did get about Mr. Fanta. Obviously, I see him going a little bit farther in this tournament. Now, I don't see him winning it, but I see him going maybe to semifinals. But I thought it was a good match. I thought it was a good, solid debut. I liked the little post-aftermatch stuff that happened with Fanta, which is a little later on we'll get to. Jack Gallagher, though, I hate the way he looks now with these new tattoos. He just, like, it is, especially the chest. Like, the arms ones aren't too bad, but that chest one, like,
it's all black.
It's a lot of black on a lot of white.
It's like a fucking chessboard, man. Like, oh wow.
Yeah. It is just like you done fucked up, kid.
It's void black against stark white. Like it's really odd looking, I guess, and I agree.
Yeah,
it's like if you looked at it long enough, it would start to come off the surface of his skin, look 3D. Like, have you ever been looking at something on a black screen on a TV or on a phone that's got real bold red letters, and for some reason the letters look like they're 3 inches off the screen? Or 3 millimeters if it's on a phone. Yeah, that's how his tattoo looks. I do have some notes, just a few. Just the ending. Phantasma dodges a running drop kick by Gallagher, who got a close near fall off of a running headbutt. And he does have a really sick headbutt, but didn't get the win. Coming off of the drop kick dodge, Phantasma hits a Samoan driver is what they called it. Really what it is a Michinoku driver that comes off of a Samoan drop or a fireman's carry. But anyway, Samoan driver for the pinfall. And yeah, Jack Gallagher, this isn't the time to push him. That time is already passed. Now is the time to push new superstars. And Phantasma is new. And he could definitely stand to get some momentum coming out of the tournament, even if he doesn't win.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought, for some reason, Gallagher was in NXT UK the last, you know what I mean? I don't know why he's still doing stuff stateside. I figured he would still be in NXT UK because he's been doing stuff over there kind of recently.
All right, well, let me drop some of these General Slaughter comments. He said, of course, they're going to give Mia Yim the win to set up for Charlotte. Well, duh. He recommends a volleyball spike off the top rope for Jessie Kamea. And says, is she Lesnar or Luger? Probably talking about Chelsea Green. The next big thing versus the total package. I think it was the total package. Somebody else was referred to as the next big thing somewhere. Anyway. And then he calls Phantasma the sequel instead of Son of Phantasma. He said he looks like Opie did the time in Mayberry Corrections. Or he looks like Opie did time in Mayberry. Okay. All right, Jerry. Either do the show or don't do the show, Jerry. These would be so much funnier coming from you instead of me fudging them up while I'm reading them. Anyway, this brings us to the announcement for a few matches next week. Of course, we're going to get Charlotte Flair versus Mia Yim, as previously mentioned, and Keith Lee versus Damian Priest for the North American Championship. Hopefully that is legitimately the main event. That would be I feel like that should be a great main event.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, Charlotte Flair or Mia Yim?
I mean, obviously Charlotte Flair. The only person that I could see getting involved right now is maybe Io Shirai comes out and, waves that little briefcase that she's got floating around and distracts her. But because we know it's not going to be Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's back in Australia, mate. And she ain't coming back anytime soon. So, yeah, obviously, I'm really leaning towards a Charlotte Flair, especially since it's going to be like her first match, unless she wrestles on Raw. Beforehand, this coming Monday, it's going to be her first match since winning the NXT Women's Championship. So, no Charlotte.
Well, before we get to the main event, just after commercial, we see Phantasma outside, which is odd because we already saw him cut an interview in Spanish. So I got a few times where he said thank you, and then that was about it. It was just
that's it.
I know he said the word championship at some point, but I'm assuming it's like everybody else's promo where they're just saying, "Hey, I'm doing my best. I'm going to win the title." Woot woot. And then we see him outside trying to get in his SUV, and of course the van pulls up. But this time we are surprised by the fact that Phantasma actually fends him off. He keeps from being abducted. And they drive off, and there we go. So they had somebody in mind, but he warded off the threat. I don't know. I appreciate this because we knew as soon as we saw him in the parking lot that he was going to get an abduction. But to turn it around and finally have somebody fend off the abductors, because most of the guys really haven't put up much of a fight. They've just been like, okay, I'll get in the van, whatever you say.
Right? You got any candy? Like, honestly, when I first saw the promos for this guy, I was thinking this guy's probably like a leader behind this new clan or group or whatever you want to call it. But, I mean, this could be a swerve at the same time. It could be. But time will tell. I thought it was cool, though, because, like you just noted, nobody is given a fight at all. It's just been like, all right, man, cool. You got Wi-Fi?
Yeah, let's go for a ride. Free candy.
Right?
No say. Oh, so my question here is, since he fended him off successfully, are they going to try to get him next week and try even harder? Maybe this time, instead of rolling up in a van, they sneak attack him backstage, like wrap him up in a blanket or a carpet or something?
I don't know. I'm hoping for like a cargo net, like some shit out of like Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze, you know, Shink, you know.
That would be fun, I guess.
Or like a net gun.
Or is this setting up for him to be sort of like the protagonist against whoever this group is forming to be? I don't know. We'll see. This brings us to the main event: Velveteen Dream and Keith Lee versus Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, who bring Bobby Fish to ringside. And I'm so glad they did. I really liked the beginning of this match. This little, this little story they tell here. And I don't want to get into it. I'm going to let you tell the story. What were your thoughts on this match?
So a lot happened in this match. Okay, so part one, we're going to break this down into 3 different parts. Okay, folks. Part one, we saw kind of a little all-out brawl between Fish and Strong and Cole, and then obviously Keith Lee and Dream. Well, the referee gets a little sick and tired of it and ends up booting out Bobby Fish. In the meantime, this is where we get to part 2, and that's happening. We get Damian Priest jump over the barricade with his big old nightstick and hit Keith Lee in the throat. You hit him right here, but this is the throat. 2 times. And this causes Keith Lee to stand like this for about probably 10 seconds and then fall to his knees and do the whole I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And then part 3, we go to commercial, we come back, and Keith Lee's gone, and now we are in a handicap match between Velveteen Dream.
The one guy that isn't in the match anymore.
Yeah. Handicap match between Velveteen Dream and Roderick Strong and Adam Cole. And Cole is, Dream's doing his best, but the numbers game don't lie. And out of fucking nowhere, Dexter Lumis just pops up on the apron. And, my favorite character from Small Soldiers pops up on the apron. And obviously he's just kind of standing there at first, and it's weird because he's like, all right, like normally, if someone pops up on the apron, they're going to be reaching in like, yo, tag me, tag me, tag me. He's just kind of standing there. And Dream gets closer to him, and then gets pulled away again. And then he gets closer, and he finally reaches out his hand and gets the tag. And he does a couple offensive moves that really helps Dream out. He saved the day. I really thought that was cool because Dexter Lumis, I wasn't sure on what they were going to be doing with him because he is a good talent, in my opinion. He has a solid look to him. It's a different look, but it works. And I obviously think this is a great way to push him up in there, especially with Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream in the main event. I thought this was very well done. You saw Bobby Fish come back down and then get taken out with just a running flip by Lumis over the top, took out him and Roddy Strong. We got an elbow drop, or Purple Rainmaker, is that what it's called, on Adam Cole from Dream, and 1, 2, 3, Dream beat Adam Cole for the victory. I thought this was a great match. There's a lot of elements to it, start to finish. So, Stefan, what do you think, my man?
Well, I thought this was great. They, as Jerry said, they're really pushing Loomis as a psycho, and pairing him with somebody that's equally as eccentric, just sort of in the opposite direction, I think is great.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Velveteen Dream, maybe not a tag team, just a couple of guys that are sort of friends-ish. You know, friends by necessity. Loomis needs something to do, and Velveteen Dream needed help. Uh, I like his seriousness. You know, he gets the hot tag, but he doesn't come in like fast and hard like a lot of people would. He just comes in hard, just very methodical and hard, but he hits these punches that are just like, Jesus Christ, he hits hard. He hit a Luthez press. He hit a spine buster that was awesome looking, and he hit that side effect, and right when he hits the side effect, that's when Bobby Fish comes back out and ends up on the outside with who was it? Roderick Strong, and that's where you said Loomis does the running tope con hilo over the top rope, lands on both of them, and Dream tagged in when he ran off the ropes for it and comes off with the Purple Rainmaker to Cole. 1, 2, 3. He's pinned the champion, and this is how we go off the air with Velveteen Dream posing in the ring and Dexter Loomis beside the ring, sort of staring right over the top of the apron, the hardest part of the ring, don't you know?
Don't you know?
And I like it. It gives Dexter Loomis something to do. And this is a guy that we haven't seen a whole lot of time and different moves from him in the ring. But as long as he's as good as we've seen him or better, he's fine where he's at here. And it gives him some exposure in the main event. And it makes him feel like a bigger deal. Because I think this is the next best gimmick that they've got. Because a lot of these new guys are coming in without gimmicks or anything. You know, they're just coming in. Even Phantasma is just a luchador. You know, he's coming in with a legit gimmick, and I like it. And pairing him for now with Velveteen Dream is okay in my book. Meanwhile, that brings us to the end of the main event. And here on What's NXT, we like to rate the main event using the General's 5-star rating system. Jerry's not here, but we're still going to use his rating system anyway. So, Colin, out of 5 stars, where do you rate tonight's main event tag match?
Oh, God. All right, so like I said, there's a bunch of elements to this. There was a bunch of different plays that we could have saw and things that we were not expecting whatsoever. I enjoyed it. I'm going to go with 4. Solid 4, because, I mean, it was a good show. I enjoyed the few NXT Cruiserweight Championship tournament matches. I mean, it was, I don't know, it was a good show, but it wasn't a great show, so I can't really feel like I can go above 4.
I totally feel you on that. I was sitting here debating whether to give it a 1/4 star. I'm like, no
man.
way, not all, like, we had 3 Cruiserweight matches, and I don't think any of the 3 of them really wowed me. Like a Cruiserweight tournament match, normally, like, that Cruiserweight tournament to crown the inaugural champion several years ago was awesome. Every match was great. This has felt extremely lackluster for the first 4 matches that we've gotten so far. And then the rest of the show was just, even the really good stuff was still just really good. Not really great. And we didn't get Killer Kross or Scarlett. We didn't get Finn Balor. There was no Tommaso Ciampa. There was, I mean, this show felt very, very just whelming. Maybe slightly above it. And this match itself, though, I think this match was, at the very least, great in the sense of the storytelling. Like you said, you know, to have Keith Lee getting taken out early, and then Velveteen Dream spending some time in the ring by himself, getting worked over by both parties, and then Dexter Loomis showing up, and it actually making a difference. Velveteen Dream getting the pinfall on the NXT champion, which finally gives him a reason for them to consider him for the #1 contendership. I'm going to give it at least 4. At least 4. Maybe not 4 1/4, but I'm going to agree with you. 4 stars. It was just barely great. Just barely great.
Jerry says he gives it a 3.75 just from the review.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been close to what he would have given it if he'd have watched it. He might have agreed with us at a 4 if he'd have seen the whole show and the whole way that the main event panned out. But anyway, that brings us to the end of this episode of What's NXT. Thank you for joining us, everybody that's in the chat room live, the few people that are left. Thanks for being there.
Israel, Jerry.
I think we lost our moderator.
Chris Mace.
Oh, Chris is still there.
I don't know. Is it Chris? If you're still out there, thanks, guys.
Well, if anybody's still left and wants to rate the main event, I will read it out before we get out of here. In the meantime, thank you, Colin, for helping me host the show. Like I said, I was dreading doing this by myself. Thank you, Jesus. It all worked out.
No problem, man. I mean, I had to get that Triple Crown in. I hosted with Chris Mace back in August when y'all went to Canada. And then the following week, I co-hosted with Jerry. So it only makes sense for me to co-host with you and get the trifecta. Now I just got to go take over the tea party and call it a fucking day. So.
Well, I do have an announcement for the tea party. Obviously, I'm able to do Skype and go live now. So, without any lag, I don't feel like there's been any lag. Anybody in the chat room, let me know if there's been any lag during this video. Israel Diaz, meanwhile, gives the main event a 4-star. He agrees with us. Thanks, Israel. And, okay, so for the NXT party tomorrow, we're going to go live. And we're going to try to make that a regular thing. Just go live whenever it is that we happen to watch the show and get a chance to record. And so the tea party tomorrow will be round 1 of the the WWE UK Tournament 2018. So that was the second tournament. So all 8 matches from the first round I'm going to watch. Somebody's going to watch. Maybe Colin, if you're there. Maybe somebody else. Maybe I'll do it by myself.
I work all day tomorrow.
Meanwhile, that's what we're going to do tomorrow. And so join me for that. Join Colin. He has a show.
Yeah. Yeah, you can find me on my YouTube channel at the Cleaver Colin Andrew. You can follow me on Twitter at NoDQ Colin Andrew. You can follow me on Instagram at Colin26Andrew. And then you can follow all of us on Twitter at AfterMatch Rest. That's WREST, because we take the ling out of wrestling.
Whatever the fuck that means.
And then also follow us on Instagram at AfterMatch_wrestling. So thanks again for having me on, man. I'm glad I could assist you in a time of need while Jerry does daddy duty.
Yep. So yeah, Jerry won't be here tomorrow either, so I feel like we're going to lose a few viewers for that, but I apologize, you know. We can only do it when we're available. Obviously, we both had our weeks where we just couldn't do the show, be it for work or whatever. So we wish Jerry the best on dad duty.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, if you'd like to be a part of a future episode of NXT or What's NXT or something, because we can put you on any show now, apparently. No, a future episode of the NXT party, you can find me on Twitter at Stefan R. Osborne. That's STEFAN OSBORNE with an R in between that stands for restricted. You can also find my partner Jerry Slaughter on Twitter at General_JSJ. You can find him on Instagram at _gentleman_slaughter. You can find me on Instagram at osborne.stefan. And you can find us both on Patreon now if you'd like to help the channel out, and you can, at Stefan R. Osborne. Or if you just have a few moments, over here underneath me is a like button. If you like this video, click the button if you have a second. If you like all of our videos and you'd like to subscribe to the channel, that button is over there underneath this title. So subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon if you want to watch these shows when we go live, because apparently we're going to start going live a lot more often. I apologize if that means that we're leaving out a lot of the funny skits that we do. We'll try and figure out how to work that in eventually. Meanwhile, I think that's all the plugs. So
you can find Jerry's Facebook group, Armbar. That's all capitals, ARMBAR.
Exclamation point.
And you can find AfterMatch Wrestling also on Facebook. The group, come on, hang out, have some great stuff with us, and
eat soup.
Yeah.
Ride a horse, chop some wood, and eat soup. Yeah, how could I forget about Facebook? Probably because we don't add you on Facebook, so don't add us. Honestly, if you're in Armbar or if you're in Aftermatch and you try and add me and I find out, I'm going to boot you from either group. because them's the rules, man. We don't like to add people on Facebook because that's where I scroll most often for my memes, and I don't like spoilers. And sometimes I'm not able to watch the shows when they occur, so I do the responsible thing. I keep the spoilers off my Facebook and I stay off of Twitter. So there you go. It's not that I don't like you or I wouldn't like to be friends or chat, but you can join Armbar or Aftermatch Wrestling on Facebook and chat with us there. We're fine with that. Meanwhile, for the Cleaver, Colin Andrew, I am WizFresh Stefan Osborne. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you NXT time.
Sorry, I don't have a pen to throw like Jerry does.
No, you didn't come prepared.